I recently started another read through the scriptures, and I began Leviticus today, which is not always a fun book. The first 5 chapters of Leviticus is pretty descriptive of all the situations and reasons and why sacrifice needed to be made, and a lot of the pain and blood and everything that sin caused. And I saw, maybe for the first time, something about the freedom that comes through Christ. Paul spent a lot of time trying to make sure people didn't mix following Jesus in with the law. And we know that the main purpose of that is so it won't be a matter of checking this box and not checking that box in an attempt to earn anything, because we need to remember that it's by grace alone, through faith in what Jesus did alone, and not our works, so that we can't boast about it. But there's also another aspect that I noticed today of why we don't want to get in that Old Testament mentality of awareness. It's a different awareness. There's all these regulations, and I was thinking about what it must have been like to live in that. You absolutely could not have a single day where you were not at least partially focused on, what have I done wrong today? Because if you messed up, you had to remember to bring the sacrifice. Because if you didn't sacrifice right, then it wasn't covered and it wasn't forgiven. And so then you also had to worry about, well, did I sacrifice enough? Did I do enough? Did I leave something out? And did I follow the regulations and spill enough blood to escape judgment, my just due for what I've done? And there is no freedom in that. There is no freedom in that. Walking around with a scale in your head 24 hours a day, always pointing to guilty, no matter how much blood is spilled. And it was never God's intention that we live that way. So Jesus wrapped himself in flesh and came. And he allowed his blood to be spilled. And what Paul was always stressing so much, that it was his sacrifice that is enough, is because that's the new covenant. We don't have to live in this constant evaluation of, what have I done wrong versus what have I done right? We can just continually draw near to him. We can live knowing his blood is enough and has covered everything. That not because of us or anything we've done, but just because of who he is and what he's done, I'm good. Something not even Moses could ever stand and say, maybe in the first 5 minutes after sacrifice was made. But not for any length of time. I'm good. Not because I'm good, but because he is. Because of what he did. Can live outside of the balance sheet. Here's what I owed. Here's what I've paid. Hope it measures up. Hope I didn't leave anything off. Hope I didn't mess up too much to be able to get it paid for. Jesus' blood is fully sufficient. Fully sufficient. So I stop looking at me and start looking at him. And just trust that he is enough. And we can live free in a way that even the most faithful in the Old Testament never really had the opportunity to live. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing.